Hey,
Hey,
and do you?
happy Thanksgiving,
Oh,
everybody.
happy
My
Thanksgiving.
name's Romeo Versace Giovanni,
Yeah, and my name is Alexandre Leitão.
and this is our new setup.
Did you see
Wow,
this?
how you like it?
Whoa.
Leave it down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Does this look cool?
Let us know if, first, if the set is cool, and second, if we feel any problems with the tech, if you lose our audio or something, just let us know, okay? Hey, Phil, happy Thanksgiving for you too.
Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Okay.
Hey,
And for this Thanksgiving, we got one of the best shows I think we could possibly have. And we have a master at art like you have never met before. This guy is going to blow your mind. Kelly and his beautiful wife, Kalina, are here to mesmerize us with their art.
you just
And
need to see their portfolio. Something out of ordinary, something that just impressed me since the first minute, since the first picture I saw. I got crazy about this.
yeah, I mean, this guy's phenomenal. And the best part is you can get in on what he knows.
Ooh.
And there's more on that later. So
Let's bring the guests.
let's just see. Let's pull him in here. So now let's start. Kelly Kalina. All right, guys. So let everybody know how you guys started, what got you into fine art.
Okay, so I'm going to try to do a Reader's Digest condensed version, but I was a landscape photographer while I was in the U.S. military. I traveled to many countries and I wanted to capture those places. So I had this thing called capturejourneys.com. And I sold landscape photographers at a couple of galleries. And then I met this woman. So I met her in the Middle East. She was a flight attendant. I was military stationed in Bahrain. It's a little island off of Saudi Arabia for 2 years. And she was a flight attendant, like I said. And she was a beautiful woman. And I was like, wow, that's an attractive woman. And I wanted to take some photos. So I tried to take a couple photos of her, and I sucked. It wasn't very good. And that's when I realized, you know what? This is not El Capitan or at Yosemite. This is a human being with a lot more complexity to posing, lighting than just a tree and a rock. So I decided I was going to learn so I could capture what she really looked like, the beauty of her. That's how I started with portraiture.
For me, I didn't really consider myself a photographer. When we started our business, Kelly and I was more of an assistant, and I was like, okay, well, I can take a good shot because we did weddings for a long, long time. So my thing was really not fine art portraiture until only probably 3 years ago, when I decided to do my own thing in terms of fine art photography and fantasy that I kind of lean towards. So that's when I started playing with Photoshop more and kind of doing my fantasy composites, etc. So I learned from Kelly just to take a decent photo, but really we come from completely different backgrounds and we kind of try to accomplish different things slightly.
What's nice, Rome and Alexander, is that for us, her master's in art history from Poland, and then my um, technical love. I love gadgets as most guys do, but that kind of married together. So where she brought art to me, and I brought the technical to her, and we both benefited from those two opposing, perspectives. That's made us each better.
Yeah, that's true. Totally.
Nice. And I heard, Kalina, I've heard you won some recent awards lately.
Yeah, I got platinum medal in 2020 in IPC. I consider myself really, like, and I'm very humbled. And one of my images was also nominated to GIA Awards. So I'm like, wow, I'm floored, really.
So the audience is probably not familiar with some of those terms, so I'll try to explain it. So the Professional Photographers of America has an annual competition called the International Print Competition. Kalina's images, she won. She got all four of her open competitions, which is like portraiture, received a merit, meaning they were outstanding images. Three of those, even above that, were voted in the top 20%, and one
Mhm.
of those was viewed as the top 10 portraits in the entire professional photographers of America. And that's
Wow.
called the Grand Imaging Award. So one of her images is up for the Grand Imaging Award this year.
Well, that's really cool. Uh, Talking a bit more about fine art, and now you get to some dirty details here. How much does it take from the beginning of the process when you are developing the idea, till you get to the finished image? How much time does it take? How is this process? How it works since the conception to the final of the post production?
Well, recently we have our own group, and somebody said, I want to do a fine art portrait, a little bit of more than fine art than I do right now. And she had this basic image, but I want to do a little bit more like this. And I said to her, what you're showing me as an example is a fine art, beautiful image. And you cannot just aim for a little bit. You have to just set your goal to do this. I mean, at every time you take an image, it's like you cannot be just a little bit pregnant. You either do fine art, you cannot just do a little bit because it's just not gonna be right. You're just not gonna do it. So it takes, from conception through percolation, kind of brainstorming to actually shooting and deciding and kind of getting what you control of. And then you have to kind of figure out what you can do and how you can achieve the final concept, the final goal, up until the post processing, which is a huge, area that you can do so many things and manipulate, a kind of, image out of camera. So it could be complex and time consuming,
So
just so to say.
So for me, fine art is more of um, a reflection of the artist's interpretation of a scene, of an individual, of the makeup, of the outfit, and they really put more effort into making that one image stand out. That's the fine art is you're intentionally making an image more artistic than just what the technical camera provides. So you're spending more than just your arbitrary 5, 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes of editing for an image. You're really spending some time on it. Now, sometimes that could be you're out there shooting and you take a shot with no intention to be a fantasy in front of a castle or something like that later. You just took the shot, and then when you see it in your aperture and you're doing your photo, vetting and culling your images, you say, "Wow, I love this. I could see a castle in, I could see a moon, I could see fairy dust, whatever it is," and then you, like a blank canvas, you take that image and you make it art. So it doesn't necessarily have to say, I'm going to plan for it, I'm going to pick my outfits, I'm going to figure out my lighting. It may be an arbitrary image from a photo session taken that fast that becomes a beautiful piece of art later. So there's variations on that, but the bottom line is fine art is not 150 images at a wedding's reception. It's one image of one individual or a group of individuals with a certain amount of feel that you're bringing your vision to life.
Yeah, I think we need to show a little bit of their work because, I mean, these guys out here that don't know Kelly, I think they should have this opportunity to see who he is and who
By the way,
Kalina
this is
is because,
Kelly.
man, their work is truly amazing.
Okay,
No
just
Yeah,
give
she's
me a
pointing
few
at you,
minutes.
That's
but I
clean.
mean, both of y'all have like superb work. And from what I understand, it's Kalina's ideas for clothing and a lot of the designs, right?
a
Like she
lot
comes
of
up with
them. I
a
mean,
lot of the headdresses and stuff.
we do our own concepts, but if we do, for example, a workshop, which we do a lot, or a style shoot for a group of photographers, I do that. I bring the wardrobe and the styling and the concept, so to speak. And you've been to one of our, more than one of our events, so you know how it works. So yeah, I kind of I do the kind of artistic side of it a lot.
Okay.
So let's bring the images. Who wanna start, Kalina or Kelly?
Start with
You start.
Kalina.
You start. You start.
Start with
Start.
They're gonna fight. No, you do it. No, you do it.
Okay, let's start with Kalina. So,
All right. Sounds good.
sharing the screen. So here it is. This is the 500 pics from Kalina.
Yeah.
And where do you want to start?
Well, these are just some of my recent images from. This one is from a workshop that we did in Italy last year, and we do Tuscany.
Oh,
We do Tuscany every
that
year. Yeah,
that's important. You do workshops too, don't you?
yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You guys still have some education business where you show up how to create those beautiful
That's
images.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me more, Kalina.
So we do week long workshops in both Ireland and Tuscany right now. We're planning a Bali trip in 2021, workshop in Bali. But COVID has kind of changed the game a bit because we had to move three of our European trips to 2021, and hopefully by May we have an Ireland and two Tuscany weeks, full 3 weeks of workshops happening in May, and then another one in September. But it's a week long of having, for instance, in Ireland, we have at least 16 models meet us up at different spots around Ireland, in front of castles, in front of abbeys, all kinds of locations. And so the photographers, and a lot of them bring their husbands or wives as a couple, and they spend a week with us. So we have the bed and breakfasts, or we in September of next year we're renting an entire
Castle
castle
in Ireland.
with
Yeah.
15 rooms.
Wow.
It's our own castle, but they get to go into, like, say, Mockross Abbey in Killarney, and they get to shoot beautiful, like this one here, a girl in beautiful dresses and gowns, and we would go through lighting, we go through the whole thing, and they're world class locations. That's our workshop.
Yeah, and this kind of image that kind of image that if you're gonna do it by yourself without being in a workshop or something, it will cost a lot for you to produce because the location, the clothes, the makeup, the hair,
Yeah.
you give the whole package ready, isn't?
We do. That's what we do. That's what we strive for. We create more than just a workshop. It's an experience. So not only that you get together to with a bunch of other creatives and photographers from all over and spend a week together, but we make it easier in terms of bringing costumes that perfectly matched and beautiful local talent to work with us, and we take you to amazing locations that that just one of a kind, and we put you there and say, okay, let's take some great images like this one. This is just in our villa, the villa in Tuscany that we rent every year, and the entire space is for us. There's no strangers, there's no by walkers. We can do anything we want.
This goes to more
Oh,
Yeah.
let me bring the next one here. I'm going through the order that they show up, but if you
Okay.
wanted me to change, just tell me I change it and I put another one.
Yeah, this is just from the beach. We've been working with lots of local talent, here down in Cape Coral and Fort Myers area. So we just do some kind of, unplanned, sometimes quick, short notice photo shoots. So this is just one sunset, one of those. That's from the
That's
second
beautiful.
session. Yeah.
Oops,
Yeah,
that's really
we go
beautiful.
through maybe
Faster, yeah. We
we'll
can
go
stop and
through
stop.
yeah, some of her more
Yeah,
Okay, do you wanna get from the beginning page? Oh God,
how about
yeah.
you
She
pick
has
can
so
I
many.
you
It's
guys pick the
crazy.
image?
can I get that one?
Yes,
Yeah, I know.
you
I
guys
know.
pick the image and she can talk about it.
Oh my God,
We
this is
just did a
beautiful.
workshop in was it September? Yeah, in September, in October actually. In Washington D.C., we had this mansion which is called Perry Belmont House, which is a mansion from 1800s, and the backgrounds are absolutely spectacular. So despite of COVID, we were able to manage and to go through with the workshop. And this is the images that you produce from a workshop like this. Really, and we don't even shoot that much because we teach. So we just do whatever we can, and we rotate the rooms as we go and spend time with small groups of photographers to teach.
That's
It's gorgeous.
amazing.
We work with professional
Well,
makeup artists and hairstylists and designers. So this dress was by one of our designers that we work with, that we worked in this at this particular
Oh,
workshop.
Tatiana Cole.
it's really hard for me to choose.
I'm always in awe of all their images. So it's like,
Look this.
yeah.
Look this picture.
The
I mean,
lady
it's
girl. Lady
it's
no no.
gorgeous artwork, not just a photo, And this is what I always try to tell a lot of our beginners is the photo is just the beginning of the art.
That's right. It should be.
And you guys
But
take it to that
right on.
extreme level to where you're creating superior artwork.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I think one of the points here is that I don't know this lady, but for sure I could just put this picture in my living room, like a really huge print, and put it in my living room. It's an amazing work of art.
And what people don't get, that are starting out, I'm sure they're all asking, how much do you charge for that?
Yeah.
And it's not a matter, it's how much you're worth, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's how
And
you
not even
price yourself.
not only that, it was something that we were talking before the live. That is about someone just reaching on Facebook and say, "Oh, how do I do a picture like that?" It's not something you can just explain in, I don't know, 1 hour. It's something big. This takes time.
Absolutely, you're correct, Alex.
And
Yeah.
it should.
Yeah.
Good art shouldn't take 5 minutes. Fine art shouldn't be a 1 minute effort. It should be a fine effort. It should be a focused effort. It should be something that people really want to work towards. I mean, Rembrandt didn't learn his craft in 1 month. He went to school, he studied under masters for a long time before he was able to start
Exactly.
producing the kind of work he did. I mean, that's fine art.
And
Mhm.
as you said, it's not only the technical aspect, because there is a creativity to. It's not just go there, shoot a picture, put the lights in the right place, and make it work. There's
Correct.
much more on it.
Yep.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, this is one of our models that and friends, uh, also from a workshop. Lots of images that you will see is what we bring to the table when we teach workshop, whether it's one day or a week or 2 days, and we find characters, people that are interesting to photograph, not just pretty people or young girls or young models. We bring
Uh-huh.
people in different ages because that's what's interesting. It's
Right.
the human side, the human factor of it in fine art,
And
in my
the
opinion.
workshops, people actually learn all this stuff, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I mean, they learn everything from how it's shot, how you station your lights, and then you even go into detail on how you edit the
Yeah.
Yeah.
images. Correct?
So you bring up a good point, Rome. I mean, there's a lot of workshops out there, and people out there who want to learn to hone their craft, who really want to build their style that
Hmm.
kind of speaks to them. Stephen Covey call it sharpening the saw. But the bottom line is our workshops is based on a progressive learning environment. We build learning objectives. So we say ourselves, Colleen and I will say, when we do this workshop, we want the students to learn this, and then we go through a process to validate that every student in the group learned this. So we measurably find out whether are you capable of using your camera to do that. Can you do a 3 light setup in a studio? Are you able to edit with dodge and burn the way we teach you? Once you've confirmed that you've learned that new
Hmm.
skill, then it's up to you to go back home and implement that new learning to make it an
Right.
ability. And hence my background in education, my master's is in human systems integration. I know education. My passion photography, my education and my studying and education combined with her art makes us. I think our workshops speak for themselves. I
No,
think.
I could actually vouch that I have been to your workshop,
Yeah.
and I can honestly say it was one of the most detailed workshops that I've been to.
It's intense,
And
right?
it's great
Yes.
because
Yeah.
everybody has hands on,
Mm-hmm.
and and you are right there to, hey, try it this way, look at it this way, and it's letting people that don't understand certain areas of it, you're focusing and helping them in achieving that look, which is a
We
great
don't
thing.
believe in showing PowerPoints during the workshops. We believe that people learn by doing things, even if it's doing them wrong, so then you can correct them and show them what's going on and what went wrong. So I know that sometimes people are intimidated or shy, but they have to. we get them out of their comfort zone and put them out there and have them. Okay, it's your turn. Do it, and that's how you learn. So
Hmm.
I think our workshop, workout. I mean, they're a success. If we talk to our photographers that took our workshop and we watch the work, I mean, we're really proud to have some amazing photographers that took our workshops from the start where they are now. I
Yeah,
mean,
they're making awards.
yeah,
They're winning
yeah,
awards now. Our students. Hey, can you find "Making of America"? Is it in here?
yeah. If you could scroll down, maybe we can find it.
We want to pick one image, not that one, even though that one actually earned a loan this year. But there's one called "Making of America."
There it
It's
is.
the
There it is. The Betsy Rachel.
Oh, I saw it before.
yeah. So she is
Yeah,
now.
Old Glory. This one was gorgeous.
It's called "Making of America," and it's Bessie Ross working on the flag. And yeah, talk a little bit about
That was one of those images that is a concept. So it didn't just happen. I actually planned for this for competition to enter into the competition. So I chose my model. I thought about the setting where I'm gonna put her and what kind of story, what's the narrative, and pick the. I had to go and look for the flag and the outfit. Think about what she's gonna wear and the setting behind her. How I'm gonna light it. All those things, and then how I'm gonna edit it. So this it's a funny story because I entered this in the competition 2 years back, I think, and it didn't do well at all. And then I decided not to part with this image. I thought this image, it speaks from the heart, and it's just something that I felt strongly about. So I entered it again, and it did really well. So sometimes, only because some competition, maybe somebody tells you that your image is not good. If you believe that is good, maybe you should go with it. Go with your gut feeling.
So now, with the
Okay.
technicality on this one, are you guys doing a constant light in this one?
No, there's a studio light. There's three strobes on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a
Okay.
light
Just give me 1 second.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
have to
'cause
put my face near the monitor because I
I'm
cannot
not
see
gonna
it.
lie, it's gorgeous.
It is. The
You
lighting is
know,
gorgeous.
us being
The whole
military
picture.
guys, I have that love for this flag. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Me
Yeah,
too.
same with me. And I was always believing in this image too. And I told her, you really should work this one, continue this one. This is a gorgeous three lights. Main light going towards her. There's one behind her coming down. You can see a little bit on the shoulder,
Yeah.
just a little bit to fill in that light. You don't want pure blacks. And then there's
right.
one aimed to the backdrop. Yep, back there. And then there's one that aimed to the backdrop in the center, right behind, right to her.
Hmm.
Yep, it brings it a little bit light back there to separate her from the background. So it's a
Is this a painted backdrop or is a wall?
that's a
David Miu
David
backdrop.
Mihu hand painted backdrop. And
So it's
then
a painted
Uh,
canvas.
right,
Yeah.
there's
yeah.
composite work
Yeah.
in the background.
Yeah.
Actually, the flag is composed because I didn't find the flag that I was looking for. So
Wait, the flags are composite?
flag is real, but the stars are composite,
Oh,
and then the picture behind her and the flames are also composite. So there's some composite work into it.
because if you tell me that the whole flags are composite, I will leave this room and stop with photography for the
No,
rest of my life. I will
no,
never open Photoshop in my life again.
So
This is amazing work.
Ronaldo has on here that they look like oil paintings, and I have to agree. That's what makes this fine
They do.
art, in my opinion. I
Rome, do me a
truly love
favor.
them. Yep.
Choose one. I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's really hard for me to choose one.
Let's see. I know all of them, but we'll let you scroll through a few of those.
Yeah, but you don't know the story of all of them.
No, I do not. I wish I did. Oh, where's that? Keep going.
How
That
about
one right there, the underwater.
oh, the underwater?
This one?
She knows what I was thinking.
Is this one?
No, up, right there. That
This one.
underwater. Nope, to the right.
To the right?
One more.
This
That
one.
one. I love this.
Oh, I'm just dipping my feet into underwater photography. I'm not really. I mean, there are some amazing artists out there who specialize in that. and I'm not one of them at the moment. But I'd love to try that. Now that we moved to Florida, I'm gonna do more underwater work because I just think it's just
So now, are you guys using like a fish tank, like I've
no,
seen other
that was
people doing?
a regular pool.
No,
Yeah.
We have a pool in our backyard.
So this is done in your
and
backyard.
So there's textures and things added to actually to make the illusion that this is a sea. This is in the regular pool, so you will see the edge and everything. I had to work with that to kind of bring the idea that she's in the deep water somewhere. The regular pool in the backyard.
I just love your stuff, Kalina.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous.
okay, let's go a bit to the other side.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the dark side.
Ah, here it is. Let's go, Kelly.
You
Where
pick.
you want to start, man?
So hopefully your audience knows that I'm more in the boudoir. I'm more of the, and I can explain.
Right.
I see portraits as an intimate event. As a photographer, if you take a human being picture, whether it's a senior or an old woman or a young guy, or it doesn't matter, you are becoming intimate with a person if you really are trying to capture them and who they are. It's intimate. And if you're not intimate, if your image doesn't look intimate, whether it's lace lingerie or a beautiful flowing gown, then you're missing something. Every single picture I think of a human should be intimate. So we call it intimate portraiture. So you can open that one up, Kelly Johnson. Yeah, right there. So she's wearing a boudoir outfit, but yet I added her and composited an old paintings background. So I had the bird and the cage and the curtain, and the blanket that she's holding is a little bit composited, and then everything else. So this is taken at our house in Maryland, inside the house, inside a bathroom, and it's window light that's bringing the light on her, and then the editing is where I composited the rest of this.
What was the original background?
Just
A
a house
bathroom.
bathroom. She's sitting near a side of a tub.
Oh my God.
It's artwork. That's what this is.
So
Master
the
level
idea is
artwork.
You guys just tell me. You guys just tell me in the comments if you can see a bedroom behind that woman. Just tell me in the comments.
so if you look behind her, you'll see a painting also. So I added that painting as a background behind her. Then
Uh-huh.
you can see the curtain, and then the what is it, blanket she's holding, the cage and the bird. Yeah, so all that's composited with around her.
V Square Photos, Kelly and Kalina workshops are remarkable.
Oh, V-Man.
You definitely
Hey, V-Man. We know V-Man. He attended.
come out a better photographer.
That's
Denise is saying she would never guess there was a bathroom behind that woman.
yeah.
But see, now I want to let everybody know that this is the kind of stuff that you will learn with Kelly and Kalina. I mean, their workshops are phenomenal. And what I like about what you do, Kelly, is that
Oh, did I miss
you're
that
not
one?
about nudity at all.
No,
Mm-mm.
And
we
it's the
don't take
best
nudity.
part about what I like about what you do is because you show the person more than you show anything else.
Yeah, we believe strongly that boudoir is not about skin; it's about intimacy,
Mhm.
more of a sensual intimacy, not a happy intimacy, not a
Right.
sad. Remember, I truly believe intimacy is the key to excellent portraiture. Again,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter whether it's a child, an adult, it doesn't matter. So, sensual intimacy is boudoir. It's a type of intimacy. And so we like to capture intimacy. And the best intimacy, sensual, is not about skin. It's about how they're posing, what they're thinking, the environment they're in, and we try to do that. This was inside our house. It was a handheld LED light to capture her.
Yeah.
Right here. Matter of fact, right behind
That's
us.
what we see. Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think this lamp right behind me was the lamp that was used.
Different lamp. The lamp
Whatever.
changes all the time in this house.
But it
And
gives a feeling that you were there. You're intimately seeing this human being reading a book, being engaged in something special, and that's the idea in your image. And in our workshops, as you said, Rome, is we try to impart that in the photographer as they're taking the shot, so they become more aware of the intimate side, not just the technical side.
Right.
And the lighting is amazing. Talking about the technical side, I'm sorry, but the lighting is amazing.
It's seeing the shot, and that's what I picked up from your. A lot of what you were doing is seeing it from the perspective that you're at, and posing is a huge one. Having that proper pose with the one leg over, the front leg's always over, not open legged, and all that other stuff. And all those things that you touched on makes a huge difference when it comes to a glamour portrait and a boudoir portrait.
Yeah. So the
Uh,
image that
you already have invites for doing a workshop in Brazil.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
if you both come, I will be there.
All right. So this image was taken in Tuscany inside one of the bedrooms of our villa, and that is actual window light. I added a little bit of haze to give that ambiance feel of that sunlight coming down on hitting her. And Kalina found this antique.
Lingerie. This is
Lingerie.
actual Victorian lingerie, original
Wow.
with initials embroidered on the side. I found it in an antique store, so I took it to Italy with us to, thinking, okay, we should use it, while shooting one of those bedrooms.
So one of the
Kalina,
things
you're like the master at getting
Finding stuff.
knickknacks, aren't you?
she is, she's awesome. It cost
She
me
always
money,
finds
but
the
it's
best
awesome.
stuff.
So anyway, this is we teach this. I'm a very strong believer in effective use of ambient light, natural light. Some people call it sometimes, but it's not always But window light is one of the more powerful ways in which to light a human, and we go through that, as you know, Rome. Very intense, a very intense teaching about how to effectively use window light.
And I
The-
mean, you cover everything from manual, aperture priority. I mean,
The
you
metering,
name it, you
spot
do it.
metering. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of your stuff isn't metered properly
No.
or is it metered at all.
Yeah. So a lot of people get on us, especially the big name photographers, like, "Oh, how dare you not do your meter and go up to the, get a reflect." We don't. We learn the concept of light metering using the meter, but now what the military, as you know, Rome, is the Mark One Mod One eyeball. The human eye is one of the most sensitive gauges of light there is. And if you train it right, your eye can really be able to tell you whether your light is good or bad, overexposed, underexposed, or whatever. And so a trained eye can be so effective as a fine art photographer. And that's what we do. We use our eyes.
That's right.
I just love this haze and this morning light feeling.
Yes, exactly. Good catch, Alexander.
And Ireland is gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, if you close this off, I want to speak of one image because maybe the audience is interested in what kind of thing we do. For instance, go down and you'll see a red gown, almost like this one, but not this one. Not this one.
The one with the ship?
Yes.
Or
The-
castle.
Or castle, one of the two, the castle or the ship.
Keep going.
I,
Keep
as you
going.
can tell, I love red dresses.
Oh, I know you do.
Yeah,
And I do too, so I'm right with you. Keep
a lot of
going.
these were in Florida recently. All of these have been taken in the last few months while we were in Florida. Again, boudoir, so there's a lot of window light here. Matter of fact, everything.
Yeah,
you see
those
right
pictures.
now is
This series with the red drapes behind, I really like it. I really enjoy it too.
every single one is window light. Almost all of those are window light. I mean, all of them. Almost all of them. But keep going down. I'm going to try to get to. Now we're in Tuscany. Keep going down.
So this is the stuff that you produce.
Wow!
Yeah, this is all.
Look
Tuscany.
this.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it.
I think I
That was it.
I think I just
San Gimignano. in Tuscany. So we have models that come with us, and we're walking around as a group, and we have a few models. So we're picking spots and say, look at the light here, and they go there, and the model gets in the position, and the light is shot, and we show them, and they shoot these. So all the students are getting these kind of photos because they're learning to see the light in a real environment.
Yeah.
But
Right.
how? I mean, you don't. I mean, look at the brick. Look at the old brickwork here. And
Oh God, Europe is
Oh,
known.
the
for
leading line is in the composition.
yes, yeah.
Yep.
So I want to go to that because there's a little story behind it, and I'll tell you about that.
Let me see if I find the one you wanted before, because
Actually,
I just saw this and I could not stop. I could not just.
I do believe
Not
it's
click
on
on
your
it.
website.
Yeah, it actually, I think it probably is, but so one thing about 500px, and I've even written to them, is why is it that if I'm looking at an image and I hit the back
Return.
button, it doesn't go to that same area of the images
Yeah.
that I was looking at, but it doesn't. You got to start from zero again, but it shouldn't be that far
Should be
down.
close somewhere here.
Keep scrolling.
We're a little go up right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Found it.
There we go.
Okay, so when are this in this group? I think there was 15
photographers.
15 photographers and whatever that went with us to Ireland. And there was an island off the west coast of Ireland called Enos Or. And so we had a choice. You could go to the Cliffs of Moher, and it's beautiful. It's a world famous place in Ireland. Or we could take a ferry to these little islands just to the west of those, just the west coast of Ireland, because there was a shipwreck there, as you see. And I showed them the shipwreck. I asked the group, "What do you guys want to do? Do you want to get on that ferry and go out to this island and shoot at this shipwreck and other locations, or do you want to go see the cliffs and everything else?" And the group decided, let's go to the island. So we reserved the ferry enough. I think it was like 20 because we had more people from
We had
Ireland
models.
going.
Yeah,
We
it
had
was-
models
yeah.
go with us. And we all went to the island and we shot here. And this is one of the shots of that island. The sky is real. That ship is real. Those rocks are real. That dress is real. We had somebody throwing that dress in the wind. We had a person standing there. Matter of fact, Joe Summers was standing there with the light and strobing it onto the model. This is
One light.
Rita Drayton. It's a single strobe. It was a Boudoir 600.
It
Wasn't
was 600.
That's a
Yeah,
good-
that's what I was about to ask.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing that those photographers were able to shoot. So although this is my shot, it was still something that the other photographers got to see, got to experience, and then was at or had the opportunity to shoot it themselves in their style, the same dress, same model, different perspective, but they got to shoot it. And what's funny is after this shoot, and after we went to this old church that was in ruins, and after we shot all that, went back to the mainland of Ireland. That evening, we got to sit at a little pub and drank our beers and our whatever we were
Go
drinking.
through our cameras.
Go
to
through our
look at the
cameras
images.
and laugh and have fun about the day's events and people getting
Right.
sick on that ferry because of the rough Irish seas. It was just that's the kind of fun that those kind of workshops bring. It's not just about learning this, but it's about sharing your passion to do this with same-minded people.
Mhm.
That's pretty
Oh.
awesome.
I
Oh,
agree.
Denise is saying exactly what I was thinking. The colors on this one, the red just pops out from the rusted color at the back, and her skin tone just kind of fit perfectly in the picture.
Agreed.
It's an amazing picture. It's an amazing picture.
That's a big deal.
Philip saying that he loves that you don't chase bokeh. You cannot
mean,
just
I-
blur
I said
this,
that,
you know.
No, I'm with you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
Yeah.
if you want to pick another one, or that's it, that's your call.
No,
Oh,
let's
just like-
let's go to his website and let's show him some of the stuff they have on their.
The video.
I just needed to check. I'm sorry. Let's go to his website. So, okay, here we are. So,
So I mean, if anybody wants to check them out, why don't you give them your website address?
It's www.ksfinearts.com.
I'll just put it in a banner. Give me just 1 minute.
Yep. So ksfinearts.com, and you will see probably the best artwork that you have seen in a very long time.
Well,
And
Man, honestly,
more artwork out there. I mean, Rome, you produce some beautiful stuff too. But
oh man, I'm not even
here's
close.
one from the Abbey of San Galgano. Oh, that was here in Fort Myers. She's 14,
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
she?
she's.
I think she was 14 years old. That girl. Couldn't believe
Wow.
what they look like anymore.
man, I'll tell you one thing. I kind of consume. I kind of see so many photographers during the day. Instagram, 500 pics, all kind of social networks. But I never saw something like this.
Hey, click on the castle right there.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
So this is the castle, right?
So this is a Tudor home, or it used to be a home. It's a Tudor in the Tudor
To the
days
mansion. Yeah.
mansion in Ireland, and so this is another spot. We took our vans, parked here. All the photographers got out, and we got to shoot here. So we had somebody throwing the dress up. I had to clone the person throwing the dress out, and I had to clone the person shooting the light out. But that's what the result was. So you got the really cool sky and this old Tudor mansion in Ireland with that beautiful red dress. Same red dress you saw at the shipwreck.
We take this dress everywhere with us. I mean, he creates this project of taking this dress.
And that is that the parachute dress?
Huh?
No.
Yeah, no, that's
It's a
No?
different one. We are
Okay.
going to shoot the Barracuda dress on the beach here soon, maybe in December when you show up. But this is that red dress, and we've shot it on this beach or the beaches down here in Florida. We love this red dress.
Oh yeah.
Guys, Rafael is asking what tools you use for edit, if it is Lightroom and Photoshop or something else, and they are asking for your 500 pix user, so I'll put it here in the screen.
Photoshop. I mean, everything is Photoshop. Lightroom we only use to manage our images. So I just put them in Lightroom. I call them whatever, and I pick the ones and I immediately go to Photoshop. Everything happens there. We use Nik software a lot. We've got some actions that Kelly created that we use a lot. I do lots of composite work, so I kind of either shoot my own or take it from stock for my composites. But everything happens in the Photoshop.
So
Photoshop, baby.
Lightroom we use, just like she said, only very little changes in Lightroom. Yeah. But Photoshop is where it's at. Nik software, Alien Skin, Exposure 6, but our own actions. So we designed some actions that really try to bring out the character of the subject from the background. And I think that's key, as you know, Rome, to our workshop, is one of the guiding principles of learning is to separate your subject from your background. The human eye must be able to look at your image, and immediately the eye goes to the subject. If the eye doesn't go directly to the subject, you've just failed in bringing that subject as the salient image of element of your frame, and that's the core of our learning. So if you go to the workshop section of our page, you can actually see a video. Which one video on our show?
I think there's one from.
Go down to the bottom.
No, not that one.
Is
not
this
that
one?
No, that's the one we just
No.
did. We just did that workshop. But you go down,
down.
farther.
Just give me 1 second. I'll have to share the screen again, or else there will not be audio on it. Just give me 1 second.
So that's one thing that I'm always telling, some of the people that are learning and stuff like that is your subject has to be the brightest part of that image.
Yes.
But they don't understand that. And it's like you have to ensure that you have that 1.5 to 2 stops behind them, correct?
Yeah.
Is this one, Kelly?
Yeah, that one there. That's the Italy one. Kalina likes this one. It just gives you a feel of the workshop. So I don't know if you have sound.
I think we have sound.
Yep, good.
Go full screen.
It is for screen. Oh,
So that was our villa. This is a drone coverage from the villa at night. These are the places we go to. And
And the food.
you gotta have the Italian food. That's our villa. This is all our villa.
It's gorgeous. I know her. We're looking at vineyards, rocks, stones.
All around that thing comes out much more of an expanded. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, photographers who really want to do that, whether it's ours or somebody else's, you
Right.
spend a week doing that kind of thing in those locations and the social interactions you get with it. You really, it's the most purest learning environment there is. I think there's nothing better. You walk away, it's a life
Well,
changing experience.
if you need someone to take care of your house, just tell me. I move there right away. So let's come back to the images here. No, it's not here. It's here.
So, if anybody has any questions for Kelly or Kalina, just ask because I'm pretty sure they can answer it better than anybody else I know. I mean, Kelly, you just earned your master's level, right?
So I had my master's last year. Kalina earned her
Last year. Okay. And it shows too.
So,
degree.
do you have any other pictures you want to talk about it?
Yep.
I like this picture, but we don't have it on 500 pixels. This one.
Now,
So go ahead and click on it, the gallery, and so we think wedding images should be, something that makes an impact, because the day is an impact. It's an impact to their life. If you look at look at these, we try to um, capture a wedding or a dress with an impact. The bride is some very elegant, very powerful element for that day, and that's what we try to do here. This was shot. What was the lighting? Was that the 600 again?
Yeah.
Another
One
single
single
strobe. This is on the steps of the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C.
Is dramatic. Is I cannot even start to compliment this image.
We do go for drama, that's for sure. We're not shy about that.
Yeah, we are. If
Yeah.
it's,
And
go ahead.
it makes you completely different of what is out there. So this draws a lot of attention. This makes me want to have pictures like that. Look at
and the
this.
best part is he's using one light.
A lot.
Most of the time, I know
Yeah.
he likes to shoot with one light. And it's great because it shows beginners that they don't need a ton of gear.
That's true.
So, see, Rome, you bring up as a valid point, or so at such a point where photographers are inundated with all kinds of ads and recommendations for pro photo gear. A
Mhm.
single strobe that's going to cost you $2,300 or something like that. We believe that the skills of a photographer outweigh the cost of gear, and I believe that if you can take an 8200 for $229, like so for Black Friday, and you can get one, that 8200 can produce images equal to or better with the artist's skill than a pro photo $2,300 strobe. So it's not about the gear. Starting off with a single strobe, learning how to use it is more important than how much money you spend on it. And we believe
Yeah.
strongly.
And I mean, Godox now has what, 200, 300, 400, and 600.
And a 1200.
Yeah.
They have
And the
a
1200. That's right.
They have a brand new 1200. It's about, I think it's $1,500, but it's a
Right.
1200 watt per second, one strobe with a big battery box you take with you.
Right.
There's nothing that's going to beat that thing.
Of course, after you learn how to use the light, uh, good gear will make difference. But if you don't know how to use the light, it doesn't matter if you get Profoto, it doesn't matter if you get a bulb from my house, you're not going to be able to make good pictures. You need to learn how to see the light, how to use the light.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and you're right. I mean, you could take. I don't know in our boudoir gallery there is. If you go to the boudoir gallery, I want to see if I can show you this. Yeah, don't worry. There's no nudity in any of this stuff, so you can go down. That's no light. That's just no light. Keep going
I
down.
saw I saw all your pictures before coming here, buddy.
Yeah, there's one, and I wonder if it's down there. Keep going down, and I used a lamp, a table lamp, to light it, and it's all lit just with a table lamp. And the idea is, and I don't know if it's on our website. I was hoping it had been in there.
I still have your 500 pics open, if it's there.
Um, yeah, I think it is on 500px. It's not there, so it's not in there. But the idea that you could produce an images like this with just a table lamp should tell all your newer photographers that this is an example of the type of work you can produce with just what you have in your own home. You don't need to go spend money, but if you practice and implement and practice and implement those things, those key things you learn, then you become better and better. And whatever gear you have, you're going to reach your full potential with that gear.
But
And
now, I also want to say that for beginners that are getting in and they don't know what to buy for a camera, a T2i is not going to do this because
yeah,
they're at about an ISO 400, and then it starts to get the heavy grain. So we kind of look at to this level, they would probably want to be right around like a Mark III, which is still a fairly cheaper camera because they've gone down so much.
Hmm.
But I'll try to steer them into that Mark III range, Mark II range. I think Alejandro, you have Mark II, right?
I have a 6D Mark II and a 5D Mark II.
And you can see the lights that's coming from because at low ISO levels, at the high ISO level, sorry, the high
Yeah,
ISO level, the camera has to be able to keep up with
I will
that type
not say I will not say today, but yesterday when we were trying the new set, I was using 2500 ISO,
yeah.
yeah. So
and the image was
yeah,
okay.
go back out there.
This,
The one with the rollers, the hair rollers.
this one.
Click on that. Yeah. So this is an example. What does your audience think was used for the lighting of this?
Guys, you tell me
I'm not going to answer.
what was used as light for this. I don't even know, but
I could tell what it is already, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, because a lot of people will be blown away when the answer is so. This was done inside an old home in Occoquan, Virginia, during a workshop, and there is window light on one side of her, and there's window light on the other. It's only window light. Period. There is nothing but window on this. So she's
and
literally
let me ask you something: is a canvas behind her?
there.
There's
Yes,
a backdrop.
it's a
Yeah.
backdrop. So there's
Is
a
a backdrop?
but there's windows. So the building is shaped like this. I don't know if you can see. And she's in here
Zanel.
in that space. But this is all window, and this is all window. And she's
Did you
only-
block some light from the background?
Yeah.
Because the background is much darker than the subject. It's a perfect picture.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah, but it's all in how you see the light. So that light is hitting her from the front from one set of windows, and behind her there's another set of windows that are filling her back, and then the backdrop is back there that's not getting much window light. But this is an example of you don't need a very expensive gear to generate something like this if you can see the light, if you can understand where to position, where to put everything and for lighting. I think that touches Rome's comment about gear. You don't have to spend $15,000 to produce images that are really impacting to the viewer.
But we like to.
I know.
Love that.
Hey, I want to
I'm
get that
just saying, I
close.
like my toys.
Too.
let's not let's not talk about spending money on photography gear,
Yeah.
okay? I don't think that's a good topic for a live.
But
It's an amazing picture, buddy.
yeah, so that's the one thing I like
And yes,
about
but
Kelly is
coming back to what Rome said, ISO 400, okay, but 1.4 and 85 millimeters. So
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I
that's
shoot.
that's one of the best lenses
I shoot very
in my
open.
opinion.
I mean, a
Wide
lot of
open.
mine is if I'm using constant light, I'm usually always very open. 1.4,
Hmm
2.8, but 1.8, but that's I don't go much above that.
And all prime lenses
Yeah.
we use.
And it's also something that's a misnomer out there is that just because you're shooting at 1.4 doesn't mean it's going to be this thin.
Correct.
You
So
know,
the
your
depth of field,
distance dictates the
right,
amount of distance that you have in focus.
right.
And we preach that to the beginners, but they don't catch that. And this is a prime example here where you're at 1.4, yet you still got the entire body in focus.
Yeah.
And that,
Every lens has a minimum focusing distance. So
right,
the minimum focusing distance for an 85 millimeters is 3.4 feet.
3.5, something like that.
There's a minimum, but that depth of field at that distance may be only that thick. I mean,
Right.
really, really, really thin. Now, as I walk away to let's say 15 feet, now my depth of field may be that thick.
hmm
And as I walk about 20 feet, it could even get grower. So if my subject in this case from front to back is maybe a foot thick, is what I really want to be in focus. That's it. Her top of her butt to the front of her hand and the opposite of that curl is maybe a foot thick. Then I will position myself at a distance at 1.4 where I'm pretty sure the entire area will be in focus, and that's
yep.
my control of depth of field.
And that's also how you're able to get sharper images at lower ISOs, you know, using the reciprocal factor. And, you know, because that's something that we like to teach is that whole reciprocal factor of how to understand, you know, if you're at ISO 600, you want to get the 400, you know, how many stops of lights are you losing? Well, you gain it when you use it down in the 1.4 range.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and metering is important for those kind of shots too. You know, when
true.
you pick up another one, where you. So one of the critical pillars of our work is the brightest point on the image should be the subject's face or where you want to look, unless you're doing something like this. Now, sometimes the brightest point in this case is her outfit. It's between her legs, it's her arm, and a little bit of the forehead, along the face. So your eyes actually go to the center of the image where that brightest point is. That's where your eye will naturally go. But this one works because it has that more of a drama effect to it. If you go to another image, Alexander, you can go to the right and left, just one of those, so you don't have to go far out. Open that one up. Uh,
That one?
yeah, that one's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is window light again, but the
hmm
brightest point on this image is her face. It's her
It's her
nose and her
cheekbone.
top of her lip. And your eye's going to go right to her face, not her feet, not her hands, not the floor, the wooden floor. It's her face. So this is
Yeah, in your use depth of field on a favor too.
Oh yeah. So depth of field here was 1.4 again. I'm pretty sure if you look at it, it's probably 1.4. And yep,
Yep.
Yep.
so 1.4. So the only area that's in focus is what I want it to be. Her entire face, her hair, but her butt, her legs, the forearm, those fingers are probably out of focus a little bit. But it causes your eye to go directly to her face, which is what I wanted. I
Yep.
wanted you to look that way on this girl, but that's window light. That
And
window,
it's also about controlling that highlight.
yes.
That's really the thing that Kelly talks about in his workshops.
So that's where the metering comes in. So if
Mhm.
I want the brightest point of my image to be where you look, let's say the face, I could overexpose it and your eye will go there, but it doesn't look very nice. So the one key aspect of having the brightest point being the subject face or where you want the viewer to look, it still has to be correctly exposed. So that's the part where photographers sometimes will forget. Okay, well, my brightest point is the face. Yeah, but it's overexposed. That ruins the whole concept. So you correctly expose the brightest point. Guess what? If the brightest point is correctly exposed, every single pixel other than that will be what? Darker. And guess
Mhm.
what? That's your natural vignette. So that's the
Yeah,
key.
and that there is another thing that you do here that is really hard for people to understand that, okay, the brightest part is the face, but you didn't let the rest of the body get into shadow and just vanish with the background. You
Correct.
kind of balance the darkness and the brightness, so you get balance in the picture.
Right. And so, Alexander, imagine this. So, put yourself in the shoes. You're the photographer, and this is the brightness of her face, this close to the window. And I think it's maybe only like 14, 16 inches from the window. That's it.
Hmm.
If I was to move her away directly away from the glass, another 4 or 5 inches, which would be a reduction of light probably about 30%, and I measured that point there, what does the rest of the image do?
Just follow the same.
It gets darker, right? A lot
Yeah.
darker. So you may correctly expose the face at that point, but now the rest of the image is even more darker. And there and so sometimes you have to decide, all right, am I too much light on that face? And because all of a sudden the legs start getting too dark, do I need to position her so their legs get closer to the light so I don't lose the detail in the legs or the shoes? Those are the things that photographers think about when they're
And now
posing.
you're talking about the inverted square law.
Yeah, the light fall off. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Fall
So
off.
over time, and that's what they say. You know, what do they say about 10 years experience? It takes 10 years to get it. So in this case, you learn the light fall off just by your eye. You remember the Mark One Mod One eyeball. You learn to see the light, and you know, okay, the face this close will cause the legs a little bit farther away from the light, as you see it is, will be a little light or darker, which means my image becomes salient. The salient element of this image is her face, not the
Mhm.
feet, not the legs, not their hand, not the hair, not the nose, her face. And
Yeah,
that's
and if you notice, like her shoulder, her face, her arm, everything was right on that same plane.
yes,
And then anything that was further from it, it gets slightly darker.
yep.
And I will go to the right here because I want to see more.
Again, window light. Just keep going.
And this one.
Window light.
See,
That's
guys, you don't need to buy expensive flashes if you know how to use
yes,
window light.
that's correct. Effective use of window light.
Or effectively, you can use constant lights.
You too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Constant lights, yeah.
$130 ring light can be your best friend. This was a studio shot, and this is a again hand painted backdrop by David Mihu. The main light is I think it's a 48-inch octabox with an 8 carton grid, and bringing the details on her, and then another light aimed towards the backdrop to give that that hot spot with almost like a vignette effect on the backdrop. I don't think there's a third light on this one. I think it's only two lights.
I only see two.
Yeah, it's the same workshop. Yeah, that's only two lights on this one.
Yeah, I see your main and I see your backdrop light.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
So yeah. So I mean, I could go on
Oops.
forever with you guys.
Oops.
You know that it's Thanksgiving, and is there anything you want everyone to know about? Anything in particular?
Don't don't just go with your gut if you're a photographer. Follow what makes you happy. Only because everybody's shooting eggs, it doesn't mean you have to do it. I know we go through tons of images on Instagram and on Facebook, and we get influenced by other people's art, and we try to copy it. And this is inevitable. Especially as a new photographer, you're gonna do it, but then look for what makes what makes you tick, who you are as a photographer, as an artist, and consider yourself an artist. Make mistakes, experiment and learn new things every day.
According to the last study, or at least known that I'm aware of, there's 44.1 million practicing photographers. Now, what does that mean? Practicing. It could be somebody with just a camera that likes to go out and shoot birds in their backyard. But there's a lot of photographers out there. The difference between a lot of photographers and you could be your focus to learn the basics, learn the fundamentals, and learn them so well because you become a master at the fundamentals. It's called brilliant on the basics. Too many photographers don't do it. They grab their camera and the next 2 days they want to start compositing, the Milky Way in the backgrounds of their, their whatever. And instead of learning the fundamentals, learn it and learn it well. You will separate yourself from the rest of the 44 million that are out there, and you will become a better photographer. So my view is as a photographer, learn the fundamentals to where you know them so well, and when you align all those fundamentals together, your image will be it will be separate from the rest. You will see yourself as one of the better photographers out there. And
I
thank you,
100%
Alexander,
agree.
for having us.
Thanks for having us. That
this
was
is awesome.
great.
No, we're obliged to have you, especially on Thanksgiving. I mean, this is
And
you guys have given the audience more than I think anyone that's come by us so far in
yep.
technique and in foresight, stuff like that. I mean, we really appreciate everything that you've done. And I know Alex and we were talking about your stuff, and I was explaining some of the things because there's some pictures in there that we had done when I had seen when I was there with you guys. And I mean, each one has a story. And really, once you get to know the individual before you take that photo, you really do have a true story that you bring out. And that's the one thing I liked about your training is the same way as you would teach us how to see all this looks and bringing out their story. And I appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure Alex over here.
Yeah, I will say it again, but since Rome told me that you jump on and you're gonna do the show with us, I'm crazy on your Instagram. I found your Instagram. I'm crazy on your website, and I'm seeing all the pictures of fun. I became a stalker. Your work is amazing. I never saw something like that. It's the first time I really see something that I would think is fine art. You see a lot of people naming themselves, "Oh, I'm a fine art photographer. I'm this, I'm that." This was the first time I saw something that I consider fine art, both of your work. So
It's
congrats
like
on your
old-
work.
It's like those old painters.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm kind of
I'm not saying
pretty
you're old.
picky. I'm pretty picky, and if I'm saying that I will just hang on my living room, it's because, man, it just impressed me so much that I just told my wife, find a model. My wife is my producer. Find a model. Let's do something that looks like this because this is amazing. I want you, before we end the show, I want to put your website again here. So go to Kelly and Kalina website and check for the dates on the next workshop. If you like it, just go there. It's amazing. And if I could, I would be there right now. And
I've been to 2, by the way.
and there are 500 PX handles so people can follow you.
Please do.
And that's it. Rome?
We really appreciate everything you've done today. I mean, this is Thanksgiving more giving than thanks. You know what I mean? And that's how we see it. We truly appreciate what you guys have done. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Again, guys, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And
hopefully we'll see each other again in December.
Oh,
Yes. Give us a
Definitely.
call.
All right.
bye-bye, Kelly. Bye-bye, Kalina. Thank you again.
And everybody else, bye.
So we are going. You're just gonna say bye for the first time in the story of this show. You're just gonna say bye and hang off. No, it doesn't work like that with us. We kind of keep talking like half an hour. No?
Really?
Okay.
And
Okay, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us with this show. I hope you like it. I hope you learn some tips and tricks from this couple that really mastered the craft of fine art portrait.
Exactly. These guys, they've taught me a lot of stuff over the last few years, and Kelly does teach very intricate information. And Kalina is right there with them. They're like two peas in a pod. So if you really do want to um, get trained by someone that is a master class photographer, not just someone saying they are, this guy is the legit stuff. So,
Just
you
for
know,
Brazilian people, this title, masterclass, means a lot. Okay, it's not just a title he put on
it,
his name.
it's earned. I mean,
It's earned.
he's had to win a ton of competitions and he's had to produce, you know, exceptional artwork in order to get that level.
And you
And
can see part of the competitions he won on his website. He shows there in the about page.
yeah, and that's not even all of them. That's just a portion of them. So, you know, these guys have really stepped up, and um, they're also certified professional photographers. So they've gone through the CPP, they've taken the courses, they've passed all the tests and all that. So, you know, Kelly's been around for a while, and I'm glad he decided to come on.
It was an amazing show. I really enjoyed it. I was really excited about it since you told me they will join us. But
Well,
anyway,
it's getting
it's
late.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Thanks for joining
Ha-
us if you're watching.
Happy Thanksgiving for you. Go eat your
And
turkey.
well, I had a
And I
lot of
will.
I'm
For
full.
you, for you, it's Thanksgiving. For me, it's Black Friday night, so I have to work yet.
Yeah. So, all right, guys.
Bye bye.
I say lights out.
Lights out.